They're like fighting over who's gonna take the smaller piece. Like, you take the big piece. No, you take the big piece. Look at these two living the retired dream. 5 yuan for all these balls. Good night, everyone, from our secret lair here in the cave house. Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up in a cave in the middle of nowhere. I'm currently on a bike tour through North China with my husband, and after months of traversing forests, coastlines, and grasslands, we have finally arrived in Shansi province. Its craggy landscapes are filled with ancient fortresses, temples, and cave house villages. The soil of the Loess Plateau is so malleable that you can dig into it literally with your bare hands. So cave houses were the traditional form of dwelling for centuries up until they were replaced by new materials like concrete. However, the cave house aesthetic still lives on even in more modern neighborhoods. And over the past few days, we've encountered cave-style grocery stores, temples, and even a cave hotel. In today's vlog, we'll be exploring a few cave villages, and we'll eventually get a chance to stay in an authentic cave house with a new friend that we meet along the way. But before that, we're actually gonna stay in this super cute retro cave hotel that I booked because I was so fascinated by these cave houses, and I never in a million years thought we'd get a chance to stay at an actual villager's home.
对，它这每个窑洞都是风格不一样。对，60年代农村。
Oh. And among all of these, the most interesting was the wedding night room.
平常晚上我就不来这个，我怕了。
怕什么呀？
有什么怕呀？
这个房间有鬼吗？
没鬼是不？你看它装饰是吧？
啊，
怎么了？觉得恐怖吗？
对。
这个可爱啊，这个床也没有那么硬，看他们铺的这个东西。那这个房间多少钱啊？
这个，哎呀，这个就贵了。
这可能不在我们的预算内啊。
肯定贵。
但是它可爱。
多少钱呀？
这个。
了解一下。
呀，这个我也不知道。
Despite the owner seeming to think it was creepy, we really loved this room. We wanted to book it, but he wouldn't tell us the price. I found this entire encounter so confusing until later, a Chinese friend told me that weddings, especially in rural areas, are actually a common element of Chinese horror movies and scary stories. Meanwhile, here's me and Ace John with no such association in our mind whatsoever, being like, oh, this room is so cute. Why won't the owner let us stay in here? Eventually, we decided on the owner's recommendation, the Chairman Mao room. So we can have sweet dreams tonight with Chairman Mao looking down at us from the wall. Not only do we have Chairman Mao to watch over us in our dreams, we also have this lovely retro item here. It is one of these wicker-coated water thermos things, and if we, for example, boil hot water in the middle of the night and put it in here, it will stay nice and toasty all night long. So, love this retro room. They've also got this. They got a flashlight. This room also features a retro pillow, which is basically a gigantic beanbag with a towel over the top instead of a pillowcase. They are super cute, but I'd be lying if I said they're comfortable to lay on if you're not used to them. They're definitely an acquired taste. Good night, everyone. We have our 2 guardians here on the wall to watch over us. Unfortunately, it seems just a few minutes in the creepy wedding cave was enough to curse us, because the next day, disaster struck.
Somebody stole Ace John's shoes out of the bike bag. And this isn't just any pair of shoes. This is the 35 renminbi grandpa shoes we got from the market. I'm crushed, I'm heartbroken. I've never had anything stolen from me in all my years in China. And it was right in front of the store.
我出来吃完饭以后，我想的是还原那个鞋子。
那就人家顺手就走。
I'm sad at the loss of the 35 renminbi grandpa shoes. My poor baby biking with his cold little feet.
It's cold. I want my shoes, but
Look at these two living the retired dream. 我们老了，你也会那样拉我吗？
你奶奶拉在老公，你也拉在我呀。
He dropped his girl off at her afternoon mahjong session or something, and he's rolling back all alone. We went down this teeny little road, and what do you know? There is this gigantic ancient
fortress village thing here. There are literally more ancient villages and fortresses here in Shansi than this place knows what to do with. I didn't even see it marked on the map as being any special thing. It just said Xiamen town. I thought it was just a normal town, but it is not. If this was any other province, they would have turned it into like a museum or something. They'd be like charging entrance fee tickets to come in and look at it. But here in Shansi, there's like, we got so many of these, you know? Take this one for free. Wow, someone actually lives here, it looks like. So I thought this whole place was abandoned.
我们就在里面住着几家，冬天他们就有的就都搬到城里面，城里面不是楼里有暖气，
哦，夏天在这里。
对，夏天就都回来。
We spent the night in the neighboring town, and then first thing the next morning, headed back up into the mountains to look at more cool ancient stuff.
We are on our way to the little village of Dongjialing.
Kelme kelme kelgininge rahmete taymu yambuta taymu kelme kelme kelgininge rahmete taymu.
We've been going up and up and up and up, and finally I see it in the distance.
Dongjialing has about 400 years of history, and over the years it has slowly transformed from a bustling hub of the Dong family clan to a quiet place with just a few elderly residents remaining. It's also occasionally visited by ancient village hobbyists, although it's very out of the way and not super popular. As far as I could see, we were the only visitors that day.
Check this out. We're actually walking on the roofs of the houses below us. These are their chimneys. Look at this angry little guy. He's so angry. So there actually are more people living here than I would have expected, considering how middle of nowhere this place is. Look at their corn stash.
When I was child in our village, like this one, everybody drink like this water.
Look at this electricity safety poster. It's actually made out of tiles, which is why it's in such great shape. Like, you can see how old this thing is just from the fact that there is a horse portrayed here. We have not seen a single horse here in Shansi.
This place has some modern amenities like electricity and motorcycles to get around on the narrow roads, but for the most part, it feels as though we took a time machine back to a century ago.
Big drawback of living in a place like this, you have to cook every single meal yourself, like every single meal. I know a lot of people think that the village John and I live in is in the middle of nowhere, but our village alone has 2 restaurants, and there's other restaurants in neighboring villages. So like, you don't actually have to cook every single meal yourself, and we're 35 minutes away from a mega city. And it wouldn't even have to be a mega city, just like a moderately sized city within that kind of a range would be okay. But this place is just too inaccessible. When you're out here, you gotta do everything yourself. You gotta heat your house yourself. You gotta have kindling for your stove, for your furnace. So even for people like me and Isdan who actually really enjoy rural life, this is a hard sell. Grandma's staring at me. She's like, who that? So I think it's very unlikely that in the next 20 years this place will still be inhabited at all. What a cool landscape this is. The entire thing is terraced. All of it. We're heading to the neighboring town of Fanxi.
It might look like it's right in front of us, but there's a giant ravine in the middle, and this place took us another 2 hours to reach.
Good morning, guys. From Shansi.
This is where we stayed last night, in this little apartment building that's like on the side of a ravine. And interestingly, the children have graffitied the wall with dozens and dozens of tic-tac-toe games. Making our way down this tiny village road, trying to find another ancient village called Shijiagou, but there's a bit of a roadblock up ahead. Look at this little angry guy. He's like, you're not allowed on my road. This is my road. Look at my strong boy. Wow, pretty.
Hello，你的帽子好可爱。
美国话说的好吧？
还行呗。我老家也种这个玉米，我也是农民家。农民家庭。
那你咋娶上美国媳妇呢？
缘分。
这是什么呀？
纪念老人的那个。
哦。Checking out the local specialty product grocery store. It's actually shaped like a cave house. How cute is this?
面做的，用这个土炒的。
等到锅里的土像水一样开始沸腾了，面团就炒熟了。
I thought this was some kind of nut because it's so crunchy. It's actually made out of flour. We got a whole bag of these handmade crispy balls. 5 yuan for all these balls. I feel like I haven't had a handmade snack in like forever. Everything is like machine made in this day and age because it's so much effort to make a snack by hand, you know? The flavor is not so intense. Like when you buy little snacks like this in the store that are prepackaged, they tend to just bowl you over with their flavor. It's just like being slapped in the face with like this fake chicken wing flavor or whatever. So I actually really like these. It tastes kind of like a rosemary pretzel.
哪个国家的嘛？
美国。
美国挺好，你跑到这地方干啥？
这里也好呀。
哎呀，咱那个小村庄好。
你看人家讨伐自然就是这样。
都上老人了，年轻人的孩子们上学都跑到县城了。
我们喜欢农村，我们在杭州住在农村呢。
他就跟我们新疆人差不多。啊，像
他是新疆的呀，我是美国的。
他是新疆的。
难得有人猜得这么准呢。
这对起来的出来高水平。
对。
上去坐。
原来人家有钱的人的。
Time to put our bikes to the side and do some exploring. We've got all of our gear ready to go in this super convenient TomTalk T66 backpack.
I've got our drone in this main pocket, tripod and extra battery in the front pocket, extra mic in the mini pocket, and Sony camera and a hat for when it gets cold later in this pocket.
Finally, all my filming equipment fits in one bag that's actually comfortable to wear and doesn't feel like I'm carrying a whole suitcase.
This is the TomTalk T66, and it's the perfect travel companion. I love this convenient carrying handle and the wide cushion straps.
These wide straps are super soft and comfortable and don't hurt your shoulder, even if you're carrying a bunch of heavy stuff. Not only are TomTalk backpacks super comfortable to wear, they're also designed in a way that keeps everything organized and easy to get to.
The pockets for big stuff are super accessible, and there are lots of smaller pockets to keep the tiny stuff in its place. And it's water resistant. With all this expensive and not waterproof equipment on me, I can explore worry-free in all sorts of weather conditions. It's the perfect combination of affordable, durable, and ergonomic. What's not to love?
Check out the link below to get one for yourself, and thanks TomTalk for sponsoring today's video.
You've maybe already noticed that Shijiagou is a bit bougier than the village we visited yesterday. While Dongjialing was the home of farmers and traders, Shijiagou is a nest of luxurious courtyards built by some of the wealthiest businessmen in the region at the time, which was about 300 years ago. Although Shijiagou originated as the ancient equivalent of a villa compound, wars, changing governments, communism, and modernization throughout the decades gave it the same fate as many of the other middle-of-nowhere mountain villages that we passed through. Albeit with an entrance ticket, because the architecture here is more historically significant. And if you enjoy exploring ancient villages as much as we do, the ticket price is worth it.
And it has some more infrastructure like inns and stuff. So yeah, we get to stay here.
20万赎回来，你最少的30万，彩礼是18万8，照一下相，买3金4银，衣柜了嘛，什么都要买了嘛，下来的30万。
那谁娶得起媳妇啊？到了什么年龄，女孩子会开始降低她的标准啊？
一般的都不会降，
就是宁愿不结婚，也不接受你给不起这个钱。
对，咱们这儿地方穷，还要的多。
你知足啊？你知不知足？
知足。
We are going to have breakfast here at this little inn, and then we are going to get on the road to head to the city of Linfen. Isidan's breakfast is eggs. I'm having sticky rice with dates. I know the color and texture of this dish is maybe not super aesthetic to most of you, but this is actually the most delicious breakfast I've had in a while.
Off we go, everyone.
We barely made it an hour or two down the road before we got distracted by goats. The herder of the goats was as fascinated by us as we were by his goats, so he came up on the road to chat with us.
我们就是骑车子来的。
对对
好家伙呀，挺能骑的，就是走到哪儿休息在哪儿。
对对对，我也小时候放羊嘛，
是吧？我7、8岁时候就放羊，我们当时候我是58年的嘛，我6几年的时候我爸爸放羊。
他刚生的吗？
刚生的，有1个多小时吧。
Two freshly birthed baby goats over here. 哎，他老是不理那个小的。
3个红水就赢了。
He offered to split his moon cake with us, which is so cute.
多吃点，没事没事。
They're like fighting over who's gonna take the smaller piece. Like, you take the big piece. No, you take the big piece.
哎呀，
没事没事，你放
你
上。
多吃一点，里面有这里没有吃的呀。
So we're sharing some of our little wheat balls with him.
呀。
He just had this one little snack with him, and even then, he still insisted on sharing it with us, 2 completely random strangers.
我们今天认识了就是缘分。
你像在毛主席那个时候吧，那个时候没有富的，现在我跟你说，一个富的比一个想的人都有强。
对对，
一个人，毛主席那个时候穷富差别也一样。毛主席就是，把这些对抗的是穷人。
他妈妈都不理他呀，那个小的。So I just heard him yelling at the goats. They've gone all the way up this mountain here. And now he's trying to call them back down. They're all the way up there. He's going all the way up there to get the goats back. So Eston herded sheep a lot when he was younger, but now I see like the big difference between goat herding and sheep herding is that sheep will stay on the flat ground and not do crazy stuff. And goats, the minute they see a cliff in front of them, they're like, oh yeah, I gotta go up there. So our poor goat herder friend is now trying to get them all to come back down.
Go! Go!
So this little guy's doing great, but the other one is just sitting here. Get up! Go get those teats! Yeah! Yeah! That's a good goat. Hell yeah! That's a noisy little guy. Yay! Look at you! Look at you! Stand up! Stand up! It's trying to drink from the teats of its own sibling. You got the motions right, but... So I know y'all are probably thinking just leave the goats alone and the mom will feed them both, right? But the mom was feeding the bigger goat like way off in the distance, and the smaller goat was just laying there like a limp rag, not making any sound, not trying to stand up, just like if you were passing by you'd think it was dead. But then the moment it gets someone paying attention to it, it will start squealing and trying to stand up. Look at it wagging its little tail. Very nice.
我们小的时候我也放羊，放羊的过程中，就是羊突然就生了，然后生了以后，他不看自己的孩子嘛，然后我们把羊抓起来，强迫性让它喝奶。
So apparently, deadbeat moms are like a common thing in the sheep and goat world. He's like, feed our babies now. 小动物的世界这么惨烈。
没有奶了，才来。
Goat herding is not an easy job, y'all. The mother goat didn't have much milk left since the bigger baby took most of it, so we had to catch another goat. And then in that process, the other goats started running away again, so Eston was sent after them. Of course, the baby goats are only out on the field the day they're born. They're kept in a special pen for the rest of their youth. But that first day is a chaotic one indeed.
你们今天晚上在我家住3晚上，我家算是窑洞。
我们走了一路看窑洞。
We weren't going to reach Linfen before dark at this pace, and also it would be fun to chat with him without the constant distraction of the goats, so we took him up on his offer. While he was busy bringing the goats back to their owner's pen, we stopped by the village store to pick up some fruit and then headed to the location he sent us. Finally, our chance to experience a cave house
up close and personal.
Finally, we reconvened just as the sun was setting.
First ever visit to an authentic cave house.
The minute we walked in the door, he showed me something cooking on the stove and asked me what I thought it was. Take a minute to think about it. I am almost positive you will not be able to guess what it is. We'll get back to that later. Asajan also tried to help him fix his television, to no avail. He also offered us some persimmons and this root vegetable that was kind of like a combination of a potato and a sweet potato.
So this house has been around for quite a while. It's about 100 years old, and he was actually born in this room. And this is the room that his 4 children were born in. And none of those children live here anymore. As you've probably gathered, they live in 4 different cities scattered throughout the northern part of the country.
小字儿，大狗，小狗，
哪一年拍的呀？是不是这个家？
就在这个家里拍的嘛。
And yeah, this is where we're staying. The room where 4 children were birthed.
You just met this guy. Is that what happened?
Yeah. See, it's a cave house.
What's it made out of?
It's like dug into the side of a clay cliff. It's called the Loess Plateau, and it's a cave house.
Oh my God. Is it safe, Catherine?
Yes, it's safe. It's 100 years old. It's been around all that time. It's not going to fall on us today. Good night, everyone, from our secret lair here in the cave house.
Good night, everyone.
Good morning, everyone, from the cave.
This is the room we stayed in last night. So looking at it at a glance, you see the bricks and you might think that it's like a quote-unquote regular house. But then if you look at where the edge of the mountain is, it's more clear that this really is a cave, but it's been reinforced with bricks. Now that there's actually some more light in here, I can show you some of the cool patterns on the old retro furniture. Look at this guy. This is the hand washing zone. So the reason why we were using this is because it's easier to control the temperature of the water to wash your hands, but the house actually does have tap water. It's connected at the ceiling like this, and then it comes down this way and into this bucket here. But it doesn't have any connection to a water heater, so you heat it on the stove or with this electric kettle, and then put it in that bowl at the temperature you want.
我就在这个洞中的这个窑里边生的嘛。我爸爸生我的时候，你知道多大了？
那个年代可能18岁呗。
我爸爸生我的时候已经快50岁了。那时候医学不发达，2个哥哥，一个9岁了，一个11岁嘛，一年全都不在了，小的时候就去世了。84年的时候，我们在那庄搞这个，这边这个，那边的几个，66年的时候那儿才搞的。咱们就这个破家，老人嘛也是在这儿住嘛。
不破呀，有年代感。
有吗？
我们家也有个房子，有100年，在美国的东北。
Okay, you've been patient. I will tell you what the mysterious thing on the stove was. It's watermelon soup. Watermelons are very popular around here, but Mr. Meng said it's too cold to eat them straight, but he still wants to enjoy the flavor, so he boils them into a soup. Let me know in the comments if y'all have ever tried this before, because I have never seen such a thing in my life. Very fascinating. And now it's time for our lovely host to get back to work. He put the leftover potatoes by the fire to keep them warm. In typical Chinese fashion, he tried to give us back the fruit we gave him so we wouldn't get hungry on the road, but we insisted he keep it, and then we finally went our separate ways.
Time to say goodbye. Sad moment.
少慢一点。哇。
Our lovely host has gone back to work to herd goats, and we're gonna get back on the road and head in the direction of Linfen. It's about to get actually really cold in a couple of days, so we're about to head back to Hangzhou, and be done for the season. So throughout our entire route, we've been chatting with a lot of villagers and meeting people and sometimes even having tea or going to people's like wedding receptions or birthdays or whatever, but we've never actually stayed at anyone's house until today. So fascinating experience indeed. These cave houses are a lifestyle that has existed in this region for centuries. So many people were born in that home and now there's only one left. One guy left. He's got the whole thing to himself. It's really fascinating to be here at this little blip in the timeline where centuries and centuries of cave house living and the centuries and centuries in the future of concrete houses and apartment buildings come together for just one moment. Just this one moment.
Or so we thought. We covered a couple hundred kilometers of random mountain roads and never saw a single cave house inhabited by someone under 50, and most of them were completely abandoned. But thanks to the almighty internet, we have discovered that in the neighboring province, modern and even luxurious cave homes are a thing. And if some way, somehow it's possible, we would love to share them with you as we pass through that region in March of 2026. Don't get me wrong though, it's not that we need luxurious conditions per se, I just want to show you guys the evolution of cave house living. And our experience here in this cave village was the perfect end to the 2025 chapter of our bike tour. We are forever grateful to our lovely host, Mr. Meng, for showing us the ultimate Shansi hospitality. It's not about how much you have, it's about the spirit with which you offer it. We just really appreciate an in-depth encounter with a friendly local and the opportunity to share some life with them, even if just for a fleeting moment. This was an unforgettable encounter, and you can ask me about it when I'm 80, and I'm sure I'll still remember it like it was yesterday.
我们今天认识了就是缘分。
Anyway, it's time to head back down the mountain to the city of Linfen, and in the upcoming vlog, we'll be back in our lovely village in Hangzhou. So if you want to see a glimpse of our rural life and find out if Zhejiang got his US visa or not, make sure to subscribe and don't miss our next vlog.
Bye, Shansi. See you next time.
Disaster has struck for the first time in our 4 months of biking. Someone got pooped on.
Look at this.
Zhejiang got pooped on. I mean, what are the odds, right? We're on a moving contraption. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing? 就是你好吗的意思，差不多。How are you？ 差不多。I'm fine, thank you. And you？
笑死我了。
速度90公里。
It's been a while since we've been offered a cigarette. And Istan was like, I already quit smoking years ago. And they're like, take the cigarette. And they insisted. 给我看你的耳朵。 So even though he quit smoking, he has kept their gift. And it's a good social currency around here. If we meet someone else, we can be like, hey, have a cigarette. And then they're friends instantly.
A few moments later.
So Zhejiang got pooped on by a bird today, and I got... How would you even describe what just happened? There's a bag of some sort of leftover food on the ground, and a cart drove by, ran over it, it popped, and it hit me right here.
他也炸了，哎，看，这是他。
Ugh. 是啥呢? It's like fruit or something. All right, everyone, philosophical question. Would you take the bird poop to the leg or the rotten mystery item to the face? Which one would you choose? I'd love to hear your answer in the comments. Yeah.
Okay,
Bye-bye, bye-bye. We love to chat with the children, but anytime this happens and an adult is nearby, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. My little rascal is bothering you. Look at this cute little tea room. Of course, we're here in the dead of winter, so there's nothing going on. But in the summertime, it's a nice escape from the noisy city life.
Very lovely.
Jur.
Yeah.
There's a chicken.
新疆大本鸡来吗？
我在西安见过你们这样的，
对，
我还以
西安多
为美国女人特别大呢，
大的小的都有呗，
是吧？啊，我还以为美国女人特别大。
Somebody got married. It's very common to see one wedding arch when you get married, but these people were like, nah, we're gonna have like 15 in a row. Look at all these. Look at this. More arches.
Ah.